If only they knew why I told my best friend to marry my husband. I sat on the bed, my hands shaking as I held my best friend Adeswa's hands. My heart was heavy, but I had no choice. The words I was about to say would change everything. Adeswa, I whispered, my voice barely coming out. I want you to marry my husband. She pulled her hands away from mine so fast, as if I had burned her. Her eyes widened in shock. What did you just say, Susan? She asked, her voice trembling. Are you feeling okay? Tears burned my eyes, but I refused to cry. I had cried enough already. I know it sounds crazy, I continued, forcing my voice to remain steady. But I need you to trust me. Please. Adeswa stood up from the bed, pacing the room like a mad woman. Susan, you and James love each other. You've been married for 6 years. Why would you ask me to do something like this? Are you testing me? Is this some kind of joke? I looked her in the eyes. Do I look like I'm joking? She stopped pacing. The room was silent, except for the sound of the ceiling fan spinning above us. I took a deep breath. I need you to do this, Adeswa. My life depends on it. That was the moment I saw fear flash across her face. What are you not telling me? She whispered. I closed my eyes. I wished I could tell her the truth. I wished I could tell her why my life was in danger. But if I did, it could put her in danger too. If only they knew why I was doing this. If only they knew what I had discovered about my husband. If only they knew the kind of man he really was. 3 weeks ago, I had been the happiest woman alive. My marriage was perfect, or so I thought. James was a loving husband, a caring father to our little son, Kamsi. He was wealthy, respected in society, and owned a big company in Lagos. But all that changed the day I mistakenly picked up his second phone. It was an ordinary evening. James had left his phone on the dining table while he went to take a shower. A message popped up. I wasn't the type to check his phone, but something told me to look. And that was the day I uncovered the biggest secret of my life. The message was from someone named Chief Otondo. The job is done. The 2 men have been eliminated. No traces left. My hands turned cold. My breath caught in my throat. I scrolled through the messages and saw even more horrifying conversations. My husband, the man I loved, was a killer. Not just any killer. He was the leader of a secret deadly group responsible for assassinations and business eliminations. And I had been sleeping beside this man for 6 years. For days, I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. The man I thought I knew was a stranger. I started putting pieces together. The business rival who had gone missing 2 years ago. My husband's men had handled it. The politician who died mysteriously last year. James had arranged it. And then I remembered something that made my heart almost stop beating. My younger sister, Adaize, had disappeared 5 years ago. She had been dating a rich businessman before she vanished. We searched everywhere for her, but nothing. I was too scared to believe it, but my heart told me the truth. James knew what happened to my sister. And if I asked him, he would kill me too. I had to act fast. I needed an escape, but I couldn't just run. If I did, he would find me. I needed a distraction, something that would make him lose interest in me. And that's when I thought of Adeswa. She was my best friend, my sister from another mother. She was beautiful, smart, and everything James liked in a woman. If I could push them together, maybe he would take his eyes off me, and then I could run. The night I asked Adeswa to marry my husband, I didn't expect what happened next. At exactly midnight, my phone rang. It was an unknown number. I picked up, and a deep voice whispered, "You know too much." I jumped out of bed, my heart pounding. I ran to check on Kamsi. He was still asleep, but I felt something cold on his little fingers. I looked closer. A single bullet was placed in his palm. My legs went weak. They were watching me. I was out of time. I met Adeswa the next morning. I told her everything. At first, she refused. "Susan, this is dangerous. This is madness." But when she saw the bullet, her face changed. "I'll do it," she said. "I'll do whatever it takes to protect you and Kamsi." We came up with a plan. Adeswa would pretend to fall in love with James. She would make him trust her, get close to him, and find evidence to bring him down. But things didn't go as planned. That night, James came home early. His eyes were cold. His face was unreadable. "Susan," he said, "we need to talk." My heart stopped. He knew. I sent Adeswa a message, "Run," but it was too late. James's men stormed into the house. He had set a trap for me. I grabbed Kamsi and ran to the back door, but 2 men were already there. A hand grabbed my wrist. I screamed. Then a gunshot rang in the air. I turned in shock. Adeswa stood at the door holding a gun. One of the men fell to the ground, blood spilling from his chest. "Run, Susan," she shouted. I didn't think twice. I ran with Kamsi in my arms, my heart pounding. Behind me, I heard more gunshots. I didn't know if Adeswa would survive, but she had bought me enough time. I jumped into the waiting car and sped off into the night. I didn't look back. A year later, I sat in a small apartment in Ghana, watching the news. Nigerian billionaire James Otuku was arrested today after shocking evidence linked him to multiple murders and kidnappings. Authorities say his wife, Susan Otuku, who is still missing, was the one who exposed his crimes. Tears rolled down my cheeks. Adeswa had done it. She had risked everything for me. I held Kamsi close. He would never know the monster his father was. If only they knew why I asked my best friend to marry my husband. If only they knew the price I paid for freedom. Moral lesson. This story teaches us that sometimes the people we trust the most may be hiding dangerous secrets. Susan thought she had the perfect husband, but behind his charm was a ruthless criminal. It also shows the power of friendship. Adeswa risked her life to save Susan and her son, proving that true friends stand by us in our darkest times. Most importantly, the story reminds us to always listen to our instincts. If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. Susan's decision to investigate saved her life. We should never ignore warning signs, no matter how much we love or trust someone. What do you think? Did this story keep you on the edge of your seat? What would you have done if you were in Susan's situation? Do you think she made the right choice? Share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thrilling African stories full of suspense and action. Your support helps us bring you more amazing content. Stay tuned for the next gripping story.